So in War Thunder, the Silver Lions are pretty useful as they're used to purchase the vehicles. You can add the vehicles to a crew and you repair your vehicles with it if you don't have premium time. So that got me thinking, what is the best way to get Silver Lions in War Thunder? Now obviously you could just buy it with Golden Eagles, but unfortunately most of us aren't multi-billionaires with infinite money to just throw away on Golden Eagles every day. So if you're a player that wants to play the game and earn the Silver Lions yourself, what is the best way to do it? So in this video I have 3 different ways for you to get Silver Lions depending on your playstyle. Now number 1 might sound a little cliche, but it's just to be better. Let me explain. The more knowledge you have on War Thunder, the more knowledge you have on your plane and the opponent's planes, the more you could take advantage of it, and the more that you can survive and last your way till the end of the match. So taking a little bit of time to do a little bit of studying on the methods of playing your BR bracket will help you vastly. So if you're in props, stay high for altitude so you can have speed and energy while fighting. Or if you're in top tier or in jets, you stay low to the ground to basically become immune to semi-active radar missiles. Now, I don't have enough knowledge on radars and radar missiles to explain fully how that works, but essentially, staying low to the ground creates multipathing, which essentially makes the missile become confused and it hits the ground instead of your plane. If you take a look at some dogfight scenarios where you have a 1 circle, a 2 circle, maybe a scissor, you can recognize these in a dogfight. This is mainly for props and low tier jets. And with that knowledge you can take advantage of your plane and the opponent's plane and hopefully win the dogfight. Now I know saying just be better at the game will kind of piss someone off, but it's okay, because it has a valid reason for that. And this kind of leads into the point of what I would recommend of not bombing bases, because as someone who bombed their way to top tier in the USA with the F-20, I can say with first-hand experience that I basically went to hell and back. It was the most boring, mind-numbingly boring thing that I've ever done in my entire life. I've played a Hypixel Skyblock, so it's kind of saying something. So doing a fighter role instead of a bomber role, you will enjoy the game for longer, and it can be more consistent if you get good enough. So I think it's very worth practicing the time of how to play the game properly. Now if you want a video on your BR bracket and what's best for that, then that can be something in the future. But generally speaking, I said this earlier, props and low tier jets that have a lack of missiles, you stay high to retain your energy, and when you initialize a dogfight, you have the energy advantage, allowing you to overpower your opponent. And if you're in top tier, unless you're playing BVR, which then you'll be top tier, and you kind of don't really need Silver Lions because you'll be maxed out anyway. You generally speaking want to stay low to the ground to multipath the missiles and basically become immune to radar missiles. Now, if you really lack the skill and you really can't learn, which is what I did, you can bomb your way to top tier. Now, obviously, I personally wouldn't recommend this. I would recommend just being better at the game and improving, because if you bomb your way to top tier, when you get to top tier and you get your F-16C or your F-15E, you won't know how to play the game properly. And then you'll go on this long cycle of you die instantly every single game, and then you rage and you never play the game ever again. So that's my advice on just don't bomb. But if you want to bomb because you can't learn the way of playing a fighter role, or you're just skill issued like me, then bombing is a great way to get some easy Silver Lions. Now, I'm going to look at the US tree because I think it's the most versatile nation at the moment. When I bombed the top tier, I used the F-20A, worked like a dream. Basically every game, if you took around 35% fuel, basically minimum fuel, then you got to the base, you got 2 bases, you got maybe a kill, and then you just sacrifice yourself, and it works like a dream. Other planes that I have seen contesting it is the F-111F. Obviously, It's not a premium plane, so you don't get the Silver Lion booster, but if you're a free-to-play player, it's a great option. Or if you're in, or if you don't want to buy the F-20, you can buy the F-4S instead, which is a great multi-role fighter that can bomb, it can fight people, it's fast, it's agile, but it's kind of a brick. So just keep that in mind and try not to dogfight anything with like an F-16. Another plane that's a great contender for being a great bomber is the F-5C in small games. So if you play the F-5C as a fighter and you want to break when you see a small game, when I say small game, I mean an 8v8 or a 10v10 or something like that. If you take bombs, you can get the 2 bases, but it is the slowest plane in the entire world. So if you do that, you can go away, make yourself a cup of tea, do some studying, go to university and finish the whole course, you know. So just be prepared to wait a few business days before you're in battle. Now some of the other great planes that aren't premiums if you want to fight, the F-16A is a great choice. I personally, it's probably my favourite mid-top tier jet at the moment. The F-14B and the F-14A, they're both great options. Their Phoenixes basically guarantee you one or 2 kills every game, and then you have some AIM-7Fs or AIM-7Ms if you're playing the F-14B to maybe pick up yourself a 3rd or 4th kill. So far we've had 2 methods. We've had learning how to play the game and fight as a fighter, and we've got learning how to bomb, which is basically fly to the base, bomb, get a kill maybe, and then sacrifice yourself for the easy Silver Lions. Now the third method is doing wagers, specifically the Thunderer wager, because in the Thunderer wager what you need to do is you need to acquire one of the 7 tags that you're given. Now these 2 can be either Thunderer or Anti-Mech. Those 2 are the ones I would focus on, because some of the other ones you can't get an air RB, and others you have to kill naval targets, and that's a little bit of extra effort considering that there's literally 0 anywhere. Now the best BR that I found to do this is around 7.0, where you get your first jets. I found the F-84B to be one of the best for this in the US tech tree. Now what this wager does for you is you can put a stake of up to 10,000 Silver Lions and complete stages on that wager, and as you go down the stage they get technically harder and you get the chance to win 500,000, or not the chance, and then you're guaranteed to get 500,000 lions at the end if you complete all of the stages without failing more than 6 times. So the Anti-Mech tag that you need to get, the requirement for it is to destroy 18 ground targets, which in that BR bracket, they're everywhere. It's so easy. In the time it took me to complete the wager, I did not fail once. They're everywhere, it's easy. Then the second one, the Thunderer, it's basically the same thing. The only difference is that instead of having a certain amount of ground targets, you just have to have the most in the match, which again isn't that hard, considering that you're not in like anywhere where there's, you know, an A-10C that destroys 25 because, you know, for some reason your ground pounding is top tier. There are other wagers that contain victories, like the victory wager. Those are a little bit easier to throw away and fail, because obviously if you're playing 16 versus 16, one player doesn't really have much of an impact like it used to back in the day when there was low tier jets or late drops. One player in a 16 versus 16 is a lot less impactful than it used to be. And obviously the best method is to GE your way throughout the battle pass, get all of the boosters, go into a match in 7.0 and get yourself 6 kills and complete 2 different orders, be the best and AAA, and then you go back with premium time and in a premium vehicle and you get yourself 2.5 million lions every single game. Just you have to wait until a new season, or you could just buy them.